Hello, fight fans. I'm that boxing writer, Jeremy Harridges, and welcome to the show. It's been a little bit since I've had a chance to talk to you guys, and I'll tell you why it's been so long since a video. It's been several days, and there's been a lot going on, and I'll vibe with you in just a second about it. Before we begin, hopefully you guys like this video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and also hit that notification button. That way you guys know whenever a new video is coming out, whether it's just one having fun like this, or there's an interview or something of that nature. By the way, I do have a big interview coming out tomorrow, so do get ready for that. There is a good one coming your way. I promise you that you'll like it. It's a boxer. I don't like dropping names beforehand, but tomorrow, by noon, there will be a new interview out with a highly regarded boxer tomorrow. So today, we are going to be talking about the weightlifting videos between Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte. Before we get to that, why I haven't had a video in several days. Right now, I'm trying to enjoy some vacation time, sit back, relax, all that sort of good thing. Look at it. It's my backyard, peaceful place. I'm not in the boxing studio today, just enjoying the good outdoors. Unfortunately, this is the first time I've had to relax in quite some time. About 3 weeks ago, while I was doing pull-ups, I may have mentioned this in a previous video, I felt a terrible rip, dropped off the pull-up bar, and felt something, heard something pop, and felt it pop at the same time. Pop may not be the right word. I heard a tear, like a sound. And sure enough, after 2 MRIs, multiple doctor visits, they finally diagnosed it with, I pretty much already knew what it was, a torn pectoral muscle / tendon. Probably not a complete tear, but a partial tear. So I've been in and out of doctor's offices the last few days, having meetings with my future surgeon. That's right, next Thursday I'm having surgery to repair whatever tore in here. They're still unclear about exactly how bad it is, and they're kind of like, yeah, we'll open you up and we'll see what's going on in there. So yeah, this break this summer, not getting off to the start that I really wanted it to. So it sounds like I'm going to be in a sling for 4 weeks post-surgery, and then obviously my workouts are very, very limited in what I can and can't do, which kind of stinks. So I'm gonna have to get creative, and maybe I'll make some videos on workouts that you can do with one arm after going through post-op for a torn pectoral muscle / tendon. So that's that. Hey, the show must go on. I'm doing okay relatively, but if I'm trying to push something or throw something, that's when I feel it right in here. And it's, yeah, it's not good. So, bummer, you know, but hey, that's life. Ironically, I'm going to be taking a look at videos that came out over the last couple days. The first one was the one with Deontay Wilder doing his 310-pound bench press. And then there's the retort from Dillian Whyte showing Deontay Wilder his lifting skills. So I kind of just wanted to have some fun taking a look at those two and what can we take away from those two things. And I'll kind of break that down. Again, the irony in all this is that I can't do any of those, you know, workouts. I can't bench press. I can't do a chest press. I can't do a push-up. Nothing. You know, with the tear at the pectoral, I'd fall flat on my face. I did like doing those exercises. They were fun. I enjoyed them. Unfortunately, now all I can do is watch. So there's a little bit of jealousy here for Deontay and Dillian, because they're doing workouts that I can no longer do, and I will not be doing for quite some time, probably 3 to 4 months. So yes, I'm envious. So they're about to feel my critical wrath. I'm just playing. I'm not that mean of a guy. But taking a look at this, a couple days ago, Deontay Wilder put out this bench pressing video, and I thought we'd get a little bit of a reaction together by taking a look at it. So let's see what Deontay Wilder had going on, and I'll kind of do a play-by-play here and play. So immediately you see that Deontay's rocking the weightlifting gloves. That's kind of a no-no in the weightlifting world. I don't know too many pure weightlifters that wear gloves. It's kind of seen as like not something that you do. Okay, so he's got the push. He's getting assisted right there on the side, both ways. He gets it up. His legs are kind of going a little wild. His back gets up. All these things people have pointed out before, but he's pumped. It seems like he's hitting a PR. He's a freight train. This is the most direct that he's been towards Tyson Fury for some time. And that closes out the video. So what can we take away from that video? Yes, technically it wasn't a very good lift. You could tell that Deontay probably doesn't have the mentality of a weightlifter. Again, I threw in the gloves there. I was half kidding about that. But seriously, though, if you're in the realm of weightlifters, they really see gloves as kind of like a no-no. Like, come on, you got to put the calluses on your hands to get used to that weight. So that kind of shows you his maybe inexperience with weightlifting in the weightlifting world. Because, yeah, most weightlifters that I know don't wear gloves. You got to get those calluses right here. I still have my calluses from weightlifting. Unfortunately, this hand they're going to be going soon. Maybe doing one-armed lifts or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, so there's that. So he's kind of a noob of sorts when it comes to weightlifting is what you can take away from that video. 310 pounds. Was it a clean lift? No. Back comes off. Legs come up. He gets assisted on both sides. But he shows some power there, that he's not far off from a legit lift. So we got to give him credit for that. So he's showing power. I know that people have talked about for taller athletes, it's harder to get the weight off your chest and do a bench press. Yeah, I guess there's some truth to that, but I think there's a little bit that sometimes gets overblown quite a bit. I mean, if you look at the world's strongest men, like Hafthor Bjornsson and guys like that, I mean, the guy's huge and he's like 6'5". So we've seen big guys lift heavy weights. It's not like you can't be tall and lift heavy weights. So I kind of discredit that. But yeah, Deontay shows that he's got some power there. But we already knew that. We already knew he was a powerful guy. So I'm kind of confused as to why Deontay Wilder's bench pressing. Outside of all the fun and games of talking about his form and everything, I don't get it. You don't need these in order to be a great boxer. Yes, you do see definition and things of that nature, but that's typically from just being a cut physical athlete. Definition's great and everything because it shows that you have low BMI and that you're physically in shape and that sort of thing. But as far as just pure weightlifting goes, to a point it's great, but you don't want to necessarily be a power lifter. You don't want to be so bulky that it inhibits your punching speed. So I'm a little bit concerned actually that he's doing some of these power lifts, especially with the upper body, because maybe he always did it to a certain degree. But when you're starting to go for 300 plus pounds, you're getting more into that powerlifting mode. And I think what you want more with a fighter is more of a lean muscle, something that's built more for endurance. And if you're going more for slow power, that's not necessarily muscular endurance on that end. So I'm not sure how much a bench press is going to help Deontay Wilder, or at least a heavy bench press. In actuality, if he gets too bulky, that might slow him down and slow down the velocity of his punches a little bit. So I'm not a big fan of doing heavy weight on the bench, particularly for Deontay Wilder. But I do get that to be a heavyweight boxer, you have to have a certain amount of bulk to compete in that realm. But let's not forget that when Deontay Wilder looked his best against Tyson Fury, he weighed 208 pounds on fight night for their first fight. And that's when he put Tyson Fury down twice, and he looked great. Granted, the second time around, he was heavier. I mean, he boosted up to like 230. Too heavy, in my opinion. It's hard to tell with Deontay how much he weighs. Looking at that, I can see him coming in at a good 218, 221. I don't think he's going to be 230, but it shows me that he is concentrating on the bulk a little bit by doing in the 300s. So I don't know how productive that's going to be for him. I guess the thinking is, okay, if Tyson Fury's saying he wants to come in near 300 pounds, then I've got to bulk up a little bit to handle it. But we saw what happened when he was 230, and that wasn't his best form. So I would say, hey, stick to repping some of the lower weights, maybe 205, work on your muscular endurance. I don't think you need to go that heavy. Then again, I am a little jealous because I can no longer bench press. But let's get some fun out of the whole thing. Dillian Whyte comes to show Deontay Wilder how it's done. He, basically makes this video to be like, hey, that wasn't a lift. Check out my lift. Now, you've got Dillian Whyte providing his own lift, and let's take a look at it right now and play. Going with the dumbbells, heavy dumbbells. He goes back, he's up, and he goes with the one arm, one at a time. I usually go two at a time, like a more of a bench press, but that's impressive. That's a clean lift, a clean push each arm, not the equivalent per se to the bench press, but that shows a ton of power. And clean lift, back stays on the ground, feet stay on the ground. Dillian Whyte throwing in some jokes there, and there you go. So who wins in terms of weightlifting? It's Dillian Whyte. He's got the better form. He's also showing you that he probably has a little bit more experience. He's not wearing the gloves. He's allowing his hands to get rough. And I again, say that half kiddingly, but in all reality, if you're a fighter, you kind of want your hands to be tough, made out of rawhide. You know what I mean? And I get you want to protect your hands, but it's not like you're really going to injure your knuckles or anything by doing a bench press of any sort. So, I don't think that the gloves really add anything to it. I mean, he's thinking his grip. Maybe he thinks they look cool. I don't get it. You should have those calluses on your hand. You want those rough working hands when you're going into any sort of fight or any sort of physical activity, at least in my idea. Yeah, you want those rawhide hands. Now, I can understand if he doesn't want to split a callus, but if you're regularly working out and you're toughening out your hands, you shouldn't have to worry about that. And plus, he's so physically active anyway, I would assume that he already has some of those calluses built up. You see with Dillian Whyte, no gloves, barehanding those weights, pumping them with good form. You could tell that he does this on the regular. Now, at the same time, again, I question it. Same thing with Deontay Wilder. You've got power. Why do you have to stack up on so much weight? Now, let's be honest. There's a difference between Deontay Wilder's power and Dillian Whyte's power. Maybe Dillian feels confident doing those weightlifting things, and maybe he thinks that adds to his power, that he needs to manufacture it in a weight room. Deontay doesn't. Deontay's power comes from somewhere that's just God-given. Having seen him in the gym personally on multiple occasions, he's just got it. And some people just get it, okay? His speed, the amount of speed and the leverage from his long 83-inch reach, you just can't replicate that. And bench pressing's not going to make that any better. In fact, as I said before, I think it could actually make it worse. So I would stick away from the heavy weights for Deontay. Dillian, hey, maybe he needs that for that edge and power. Again, it's weightlifting power, so it doesn't necessarily produce a strong punch force. So I would definitely be careful with that. Dillian Whyte's a naturally thicker guy. But a lot of the same reactions I'm seeing to everyone is saying, hey, instead of bench pressing, why don't you focus on the squats a little bit? Now, same thing, you don't want to get too heavy with it. You don't want to be so heavy that your legs are weighed down and clumsy, but you've seen Deontay Wilder's legs. He can put some muscle mass on there, so there's more of a strength there than a flimsiness. Now, he's got a wiry strength to a certain degree, but you could still see maybe, hey, you're a little top heavy, let's balance it out a little bit. So again, you don't have to go in getting these giant weights in there, just something that's going to strengthen your muscle mass to a degree, a healthy degree, to where you're still mobile, you're still fast, and if anything, you're just harder to knock down. So I would move away for both of them from the heavy lifting up top and say, hey, focus on the legs a little bit more. But again, to all the boxers out there, you don't need to go heavy, heavy, heavy. Conventional wisdom says that that's counterproductive. So I'm kind of questioning the thinking in both Dillian's and Deontay's workout proceedings there. So as far as boxing, I don't think it tells us a whole lot. I think it tells us that, hey, Deontay's trying some new things, This one I would have steered away from a little bit. Who wins the weightlifting impressiveness show here? It's Dillian Whyte. He's got the form. He's done it before. With all that said, that has nothing to do with the boxing ring, right? If you put Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte in a boxing ring, well, hey, it would be a fun matchup. I'd still take Deontay Wilder. I'd still take that power. I don't think Dillian's that much cleaner, technically, than Deontay Wilder. Give me Deontay's power and that reach all day against Dillian Whyte. And you can rip on him for losing that second Tyson Fury fight all you want, but he showed a pretty good chin. Did he get knocked down a couple times? Sure. He kept getting back up. He could take a punch, so respect that. But anyway, that's my reaction to this weightlifting matchup between the two. Don't think it's going to impact them in the ring too much. But hey, it's fun, and I'm jealous because they can do it, and I can't because I tore my pec. So there you go. Something you can do with healthy pecs. I guess I'll get to experience it in 3 to 4 months. So that's all I've got. Make sure to like, subscribe, notify, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.